He doesn't repent. Church tradition tells us that Simon never repented. He, in fact, started a counter-church movement. He became one of the great leaders of the Gnostics. And what's interesting is that when I studied Gnosticism, when I was in my myth program, one of the top teachers is listed Simon Magus. He never repented, apparently, and in fact started a counter-church movement, a false church movement. And there's a story in the Acts of Peter and Paul that describe how Simon went all the way up to Rome and was the right-hand man, if you will, to Nero. And it talks about this power encounter between Peter and Paul and Simon the magician, where he basically challenges Peter to a wizard's duel in front of Nero. And he says, "These men claim that their Lord ascended into heaven. I will show you, Nero, I will ascend into heaven. And I am greater than the Christ that Peter and Paul talk about." And so Peter is on opposite of Simon in the arena. Peter is stripped bare so as to show that he doesn't have anything up his sleeve. But Simon is fully dressed. Paul is standing next to Nero watching all of this. And Simon just says, "I shall ascend into heaven," and he begins to rise. And Nero looks to Paul and says, "Look, watch Simon rise." And Paul just says, "Watch what Peter does." And when Peter sees him rising, he falls on his knees and he prays. And he then stands up and commands the demons to release Simon. And immediately he falls to the earth. And he lands on his left side and basically breaks his neck and dies. And Paul turns to Nero and says, "See, Christ is greater than him." Well, Nero is incensed by this because he loses his chief magician and orders Peter and Paul to their deaths for killing Simon Magus. And that's why Peter and Paul die at the hands of Nero. But the point is to the story, whether that really happened or not, the point is that this guy was that influential on this guy. And that's the New Testament example of these two people. So in the end of time, whoever the Antichrist is, the big boy, there's going to be some chief advisor that's going to have this great spiritual influence that's going to cause the word to worship him, like they worship Nero, like they worship Pharaoh. You following me? So that's why Hitler and Rommel didn't work. Didn't fit, doesn't fit. Or Stalin and his propagandists. It just doesn't fit. All right? But when the end of time comes, you will know. You'll know. So don't be deceived, my brothers and sisters. Next week, we begin chapter 14. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did that help answer your question, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Good. Oh! Mustard. Oh, that is great. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, one of these days I've got a long wrong places to go. Thank you so much. Oh. Oh. I've been teaching Bible study here for well over 10 years. Nope.